Welcome, comic book fans. Welcome back to the show. We took a week off for Thanksgiving, but we are back. We're happy to be here. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to try and help some comic book creators reach their crowdfunding goals because making comics is hard, but getting the people to buy them is even harder. We're here to help.
Destiny will choose 3 indie comics. I'm sorry, I just totally ran over your lines there, didn't I? I thought you were done.
It's all good, man. Keep it going.
So as Destiny chooses these campaigns for us, by the end of the show, we'll choose who to give our money to. Please stay to the very end. See if you agree. Put your comments below. We want to see if your thoughts are the same as ours, or if you've got something that we missed. But in the meantime, let's spin that wheel.
There can be only one.
We are back, baby. My name is Matt Campbell. I've worked in film and animation and comics for over 20 years now. I'm getting to be an old man in this industry. I've been doing Kickstarter campaigns since 2016, and I want to share with you guys some of the things that I've learned, help you guys succeed. And in this video, we're going to dive into some groundbreaking new indie comics that you don't want to miss. So stay tuned to the end to see which one is chosen.
Smurf here, former radio personality, owner, operator of 5280 Geek. I've been doing comic books since I was a wee little nipper. I've been doing cons since 1986, 1991 as a vendor. So I've seen things come, go, come back again, fail, succeed, and, you know, I might know a few things. A
couple things. If you're watching this on Facebook, please be sure and take a moment to share this out to your friends and let everyone in the comic community know that we are live and looking at some indie comic campaigns right now. I'm going to do that right this moment.
You know, now that you mentioned that, I should probably do the same. You're really organized here at the Wheel of Destiny. Or so we think.
Well, you know, we are just coming off our Thanksgiving break. We're a little loaded down with extra weight from all the food we ate.
I'm weighted down the tremendous loss last night against the Green Bay Packers and Detroit Lions.
Weighted down emotionally.
Oh my God, the suffrage is real. The suffrage is real. Suffrage.
I have not been keeping up with what's going on in the sports ball.
I mean, it was a fight. Don't get me wrong. It was a good game. Unfortunately, my beloved Packers went down to face the Detroit Lions, and well, the Lions were hungry and they got eaten.
See, I'm one of those people that can go to a game and be rooting for my team, and it's a fight, and it's up to the last minute. You're standing at the edge of your seat at the last minute, and they lose, and still walk away feeling, man, that was exciting, that was fun. I'm okay, you know, that they didn't win. It was fun watching it. I would rather see that than my team just completely blow out. You know, at least. You know, not all the time, you know, but.
Right. And I mean, in these situations, it's like the number one team, you know, on offense, but this is the number one team when it comes to defense. And then, you know, it's vice versa. And it's a good back and forth. So it was worth the watch. I had a good time watching it. Then I walked out in the traffic.
So did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Again, more football, more food, more everything. I have to say it was nice not to have to do anything. Normally I got something to do, and this year, it was nice quiet.
Nice. Sometimes quiet's nice. Nice.
Sometimes quiet is nice.
Well, I too had a great Thanksgiving, a Friendsgiving, and lots of great food. Good company. It's always nice to have all that. And we hope everyone out there had a great Thanksgiving. Now we're gearing up for Christmas. It's like the instant that the turkey's finished, the decorations are going up.
I mean, the turkey isn't even done yet in the decorations. I mean, Damn.
That is one story I do have to tell. I feel like it's not Thanksgiving unless something goes awry with the turkey. And this year, the turkey was a gift from my girlfriend's place of work, and it was a 20-pound turkey. And started getting it ready around 9:30 and hoping to eat around 2, and it still wasn't ready. And so then it was in there for another hour and a half, and there was people there that were just making the rounds of friends, and so they're like, a couple of them had to step out before they even had a chance to eat. But when it was finally done, it was delicious. It had a nice crust on the outside. It was good.
When you got a turkey that big, it's better to deep fry it. All right, deep fried turkey is the best.
Oh my God, I've had it. It's delicious.
Fused, you have liquids. You drop that bitch. It'd be ready by.
Don't
you know.
do it unless you absolutely have someone with you who's done it before and knows what they're doing. You'd like burn your whole house down. But
no, you do it like in the neighbor's yard. You don't do it anywhere near your house. You do it in your neighbor's yard.
Right. All right, on. Well, we are on our 31st episode today, bringing you some of the best indie comics on the market each week. We have people submit their campaigns via Facebook, either on the Facebook Action Line Studios page or on the many different Facebook groups through Action Line. So be on the lookout for that. We only accept live campaigns. We had quite a few submissions this week that were, pre-launch pages, and that's great. But submit those next week or whenever they're live. We'll get them on the show. Got a couple people that have been trying to get into the show. They've been on the wheel for the last few weeks and haven't quite made it. So we're hoping. John Westhoff is with us. Thank you so much for joining us again. You're one of our loyal fans who's always here with us. Thank you. I haven't seen Gerald yet today, or Gerald, yes. All right, so let's take a look at who we've got on the Wheel of Destiny this week. I need to get my share screen on here. There it is. Share that puppy. There it went. It's a little delay there. All right, we've got Relentlessly Bullied Hero, Exodus Z, which is the one that's been trying to get on our show for a couple weeks. Fingers crossed that they make it this week. We got one interesting one called Bombshelly and the Atomic. Sounds like a great band name.
Yeah.
We have one called Tamashi, Nomads, which I actually thought was a comic I worked on for a while called The Nomad. It's a different book. And Space Monkey Knights. These are some fun sounding comics. So that's what we have this week. We're looking forward to seeing who's going to be on the wheel. So let's
fucking go.
There could be only one Highlander type situation. Behold, my wheel of
Destiny.
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
Time to spin the wheel.
Time to spin the wheel. All right, first one up. First one up is gonna be, looks like Bombshelly and the Atomic. It's a fun sounding name, that's for sure.
I mean, it really does give off 80 rock vibes. I mean, or some cheesy Netflix film. I like it.
Yeah, I hope the campaign is as fun. Next up, who's it gonna be? Number 2. One short. Relentlessly Bullied Hero. All right, that leaves our last one, number 3. We're starting here at Exodus. Will it end on Exodus? We'll find out. Watch for that red. Watch for the red. Here it comes. Woohoo! You finally made it, Exodus. Finally made it to the wheel. Destiny has finally spoken up.
Destiny's mighty hand has come down from the heavens, grabbed you by your chesticles, and moved you into our plane of view.
Your chesticles. All right, let me remove a few extra tabs here. We don't need. Here we go. All right, first one up is going to be Bomb Shelly and the Atomic.
Shelly and the Atomics. All right. I got good vibes. I mean, who doesn't love the 80s?
All right. Yeah. Let's go here. There we go. Nice. Oops. Whoa. What is that?
Oh. I don't know.
Is that you?
Nope.
That was me.
Who's you?
I had. Could you hear that?
I didn't hear it, but
Okay, good. I somehow one of my other YouTube tabs popped open and it was like playing it. So, all right, let's take a quick look at this. We've got Bomb Shelly and the Atomic. Where did it go? There we go. I panicked and I pulled that tab down, so there it is. All right, Bomb Shelly and the Atomic. Award-winning wrestler Shelly Benson teams up with comic writer John Avina to bring you her totally true origin story, in quotations. Right? They are currently at $875 out of a $1,500 goal with 24 days to go, which means they got lots of time to try and hit this. If you know either Shelly or John Avina, and you're watching, be sure and go let them know that we're taking a look at their campaign. So let's see what this video tells us.
Hi, I'm Shelly the Bombshell.
Hi, I'm John Avina. I am one of the co-writers of Bomb Shelly and the Atomic.
And I was super lucky to work with Avina Comics to come up with this amazing new comic called Bomb Shelly and the Atomic, based off of yours truly, but the fictional version. It's super awesome, and I hope you guys will check out our Kickstarter.
In our story, Shelly is the gatekeeper of the Atomic, a special extraterrestrial energy that allows her to perform moves and acrobats only available to the guardians of the Atomic. And that's who Shelly is, and it's trying to be taken away by a ringside promoter who's looking to create like the ultimate wrestler, and they need the Atomic to do so.
Our Kickstarter, so that we can keep bringing you these awesome stories. We have 7 different variants, so lots of different options for the covers. Please check it out. Order yours today. You are not going to be disappointed.
Comic issue 1 is already complete and ready for print. We just need your help to get the funds together to get our book printed and out to you, our backers. We do have different covers. We have photo covers of Shelly that she has provided for us. We also have different comic book covers that were given to us by some of the other Avina Comics artists, and they're all available for you exclusively through our Kickstarter. If you're a fan of Harley Quinn, Power Girl, or any of those like really bold comic book characters, you're gonna love this comic.
All right, there it is, sir. What did you think?
it's plucky. I like plucky.
It's plucky. It's plucky. I'm going to get into... Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, it's fine. It was a little... I mean, again, public speaking is not for everybody, and maybe putting a little energy behind what you're trying to say would be helpful. And I know this is cheesy, but this goes to my radio days. When you're talking, smile. It really makes the world a difference. And I know you probably think, Smurf, you're full of crap. No, I'm full of coffee. But I know a few things, and smiling when you talk relays across when you're speaking and it's coming out. So if you're gonna do it at least like you have some enthusiasm behind it, or that you care.
I'm going to say something that normally you say, but I'm going to jump in there and say it first, and that is that the music audio was a little on the high end. I think that music could have been toned down so we can hear the voice, especially when the wrestler Shelly Benson was speaking. She was farther away from the microphone, so it was a little harder to hear, and the music was competing with that. So this is why having, people who are familiar with editing, video editing is always helpful. And if you can't afford to pay an editor, just make your video and just run it by them. Say, hey, you see anything I need to fix on this? Because you're usually going to catch something like that pretty quick.
Yeah, because I mean, you're right. She was too far away. She couldn't. I mean, there was a variation in audio because obviously they're using different mics. She's probably, a state away. Who knows? But in your editing, and I'm sure this is probably done on like Adobe Premiere or something simple like that, you can normalize the audio and make it sound like it's the same thing. So in their same. But yeah, dropping the audio down about 5 dB would not have hurt that at all. I mean, but it is a good earworm. I mean, that thing is stuck in my head right now. So.
Yeah, it was good. I also liked that it was personable or personal. I don't know which word to use there, but having the personal touch of the people that are part of it and create it on the video. It gives it not only some legitimacy, but it allows us to connect with someone rather than just being pictures of a book. There's a real person or more people behind this thing. And some people don't like being on camera, and that's okay. You don't have to be on camera, but it definitely can help. So what I like to do is just get on camera in little bits, for a few minutes, a few seconds at the beginning, maybe a little in the middle, maybe it's some at the end, and then the rest of it is showing all the art, because I don't want to be on there the whole time, right? So if you have,
right, because I don't know, I did like the personal touch. It was very cool. And it reminds me of a couple of other campaigns that we've seen from other people where having, an actual physical kind of thing to relate to is great. And they did give us all the information. There was no burying the lead. There was no nothing. And they teased the covers. And like you said, I would have maybe put more covers in when he was talking and cover him up and just, do a quick splash of all the various covers. I know we saw some. And of course we saw the sexy cover because, we know that's going to sell it. We do.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that.
That is part of the algorithm now.
Chris Stannard says, I second Smurf's recommendation. Smiling while talking can make the voiceover much brighter and more energetic. Absolutely. Even if you're not normally a smiley person, you can fake it for a couple seconds while you're on camera.
Smiles, everyone. Smiles.
Yeah. Oh, and Comic Unknown says, glad to see Exodus Z finally up there. It took 4 weeks in the making. We're down to the last few days for Exodus Z, but they made it. They made it
in at the crucial hour.
In the crucial hour.
What are we looking at for rewards for Bomb Shelly and the Atomics? Because I mean,
let's take a look.
I like the teas. So I mean, are there different tiers for those, or is it one big lump package?
Let's take a look. So over here we've got some. Looks like a digital reward, a 16-page PDF. So it's a smaller book. A Bombshell in a Comic, issue 1. It looks to be 16 pages. They jump right after that into a physical copy of $15. And again, if you are new to the comic, scene, and you don't know what to charge, go on Kickstarter and look at other people's comics. Look at how many pages they're getting, because we've seen it on this show that there's people that have 24, 36 pages that are $15, So some people might look at that 16 pages and go, hey, I'm getting less for the $15 than I normally do. So what else can you include into it, right?
Yeah, ooh, even I winced when you said $15 and 16, like, that's $1 a page.
Right. So let's see. Let's scroll down. We've got the retro cover, $20, and then I'm not understanding this one. It says to be determined, $25. Hit comic artist Eric Blake takes on cover duties of issue 1. Okay, so a cover he hasn't done yet is $25. I don't know who Eric Blake is, so that's not doing you a lot of favors, right?
No.
I might not know it because I do forget names. So,
Well, no, it doesn't ring a bell with me. But I mean, okay, I'm all for. Okay, so Kickstarter, you come with like semi-finished product. Some people are in the process of their thing, and they need the money to finish. But if you're offering a reward to be determined, is kind of I think a strike against you if it's not done yet.
Yeah,
you got to have some kind of. I mean, if it's a cover. I mean, hit the deadline, man. Come on. This hurts.
Well, it might be a type of thing where like they can't afford him yet, and if they raise enough money, then they can pay for him. But it shouldn't be in there then. Yeah.
No, that should not be in there.
So this comment brings up an interesting. Says I've seen stuff get funded off of sexy covers alone, and you're absolutely correct. If you make a sexy book, your chances of success on Kickstarter are, automatically higher, but there are some factors involved with that. Like what it's doing is it's automatically getting people's attention, especially if you have it in a thumbnail. People will buy a book even if they don't know anything about it, or if they, don't really see a whole lot of story there, if it's got those covers. But if you rely on that alone, then you kind of hit a standstill if there's nothing beyond that.
Right. If there's no substance behind the cover, this reminded me of it really honestly reminded me of Chainsaw Cheerleader. I think it's Chainsaw Cheerleader is the title, but battling zombies. She's a sexy dressed cheerleader, and she's chasing zombies down with a chainsaw. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. But I mean, there's not a whole lot of substance after that. But the sexy covers and all of that go into the creating, it's sold primarily on the sexy cheerleader aspect. And once you get past that, you don't have a lot of substance.
Sustenance, yes. So something I'm noticing here as I'm looking through the rewards is that they're trying to capitalize on that thing we just talked about, these sexy covers, right? So we've got a regular cover, and then there's this retro cover, which I think is the one they showed in the video where she's just sort of sitting there in a cowboy outfit, and it looks great. And then there's this unknown to be determined. And then we have this photo cover of her, and it's not got any backers on it yet, and it's $30. And we still know this is a 16-page book, but now it's jumped up to $30. And there's less of them. I'll give you that credit. That says there's only 50 of them, so that does give it some value. And then you've got
half that.
I don't know if you can see this one, but see if I can zoom in. Let's see here. Where'd it go? I can't scroll down now.
Okay.
Let me zoom back out. Doesn't work. But there is a reward here that's like a sexy photo cover. You can kind of see it a little bit right there. And that one's $35. It just keeps going up. And that one's got marked at 50 as well. Then we got another photo sexy cover. So they're definitely trying to capitalize on sexy covering. This one is $40, and there's 100 of them. So there's more of this one than there was the previous two, but it's $5 more than the last two. This is like, doesn't make as much sense to me.
It needs to be flip-flopped. It needs to be reversed, and that one that's at 50 needs to be 25. And it needs to be scaled down because, I mean, the whole...
Now, I will say, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, they do have something that is always a good thing to have. It is some sort of like all-encompassing package at the end. They have a package here for $150, says, I want them all the covers, photo covers, original cover, and the 2 variant covers. That means that you get the $50 cover, the $40 cover, the $35 cover, the $30 cover, the 20 and the 25. So it's definitely the most, like, not efficient is the word I'm going for, but
no, I mean, yeah, there's your value meal. There's your Big Mac and fries combo. I get that, and that makes.
And
sense.
there's been a couple backers on that one.
And
so I always think that's a good thing to add.
The pricing, exactly.
But I do feel like, and this is a controversial topic that we've had before, like the idea of the prices just going up because I'm changing from only seeing my butt to turning around and seeing the front side. Well, now that means that there's more, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm a little on the fence about paying extra for all that stuff now.
Well, and like I said,
the other thing
dealing with comic book shops, we have the variant covers. The 1 in 25 is priced at $15 to $20 because it's a 1 in 25, and that's how it breaks down. But when you're dealing with 100 issues, 100 covers, there's no real value there. In addition, if you're going to do a variant cover of this nature, or in general, I would still have a digital copy available for purchase in that offer, because you want them to read the book. You do want them to come back. I know the sexy sells, but you also want to try and kind of build a following at the same time.
I love this comment. It says it's $5 per private part.
I mean, you're not wrong,
right?
And Bomb Shelley is a beautiful woman. I think she's great. I really do want to see more about the comic and kind of what's going on. I'm in for the character, and just because she shows her bits, all right, it's a plus. But just be smart and try not to be as gougy against the fans that you're trying to ingratiate and bring in. Give them something that is rewarding. And I think a digital copy / the price or the print run to get what you're doing, and the Big Mac and fry combo, I think is a good deal.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to just, throw this out there. I think that this is one of those instances where a celebrity looks at the situation of Kickstarter and all the comics that are on Kickstarter making lots of money and says, hey, this would be a good opportunity to capitalize on that. Let's make a comic, and they throw something together. Like, I haven't really heard a whole lot about the story other than it's about her, being a wrestler and trying to save her rescue shelter. And it's only 16 pages, right? So it's almost, I get this feeling, I guess, that it's just like, hey, let's throw something together, put your picture on it, and make some money from this comic crowd, So I hope that there's more to it than that. That's my thing. I'm not saying that's what it is. That's just saying that's kind of what it feels like. Because now the other thing is, do these two worlds collide? I think absolutely. I think there's a lot of people that are wrestling fans that are also comic book fans because they're both storytelling, So I think there's the potential for this to do well. And I think that if they can make sure to continue to give people some, like you said, some sustenance to this. Is sustenance a word that's just for food? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's for feeding, and you want to feed the fans. You need.
So would it be substance instead of sustenance?
Yes, sustenance. Okay. Feed me, all right? Maybe I've been watching too many commercials during football, but I'm telling you, there's just
yeah. So I think if they said, we've got, other characters to introduce, and we have this world that we're creating, and there's something to look forward to, I think that could help expand, the intrigue a little bit, and make it feel like they're actually trying to build on something. Chris says substance for the win. Yes. All right. So moving on, I think this is a great campaign, great looking campaign. I love the graphics. I love all the pink is really popping. I like that. I like how they're capitalizing on a character that already exists. But I think that to get to the comic book fans who are already comic book fans, they might be looking for a little bit more than just the covers alone. All right. So there's that cover. So this was the like the $30 cover, and then you got to pay more for this cover. But you know, it's like, well, why can't I just download this image and have this image now?
I mean, if they didn't disable the right click, yeah. I mean,
They did not. They did not. All right, so let's see here. So that brings us to number 2, Relentlessly Bullied Hero. Let's go ahead and share that screen because I turned off the share. Number 2, Relentlessly Bullied Hero, shonen superhero manga. Continued journey of Zeal, a hero stuck in bonding deal with an ever-teasing villain Gamora as he searches for other heroes and allies.
all right.
All right, 2,000 out of 500 pledged, 66 backers. Let's see what the video tells us.
When the world is being devastated and the populace in danger, that is the time for heroes to come together the most. With the combined might of intertwining branches, the ultimate hilt can be created to swing the almighty sword of justice. If they're compatible to be woven. Jesus!
Hey, Zio. Lily's doll spilled cereal all over. Where's the broom?
Get out! I'm busy!
Oh, you're doing another recording? Let me help.
No!
So how's the recruiting going?
Horrible. There are no truly virtuous heroes to ally with. This world really went downhill since the Star Hero's death.
If you weren't such an edgy prude, you'll stop scaring the heroes away.
For a sociable person, there are allurements. On the heels of allurement, Peyton. Avoid the evil companion disregarding your goal. Intent on the out-of-tune way. Wander alone like a rhinoceros.
Don't quote the Bible verse at me.
That was from one of the Buddha's sutras.
Whatever. There's a heroes conference happening soon. You can find people there.
Ran by the PYH organization? No thanks.
Come on, you're friendless anyway. What can go wrong?
Now the fun stuff starts.
Literally everything.
Well, at least it'll be fun.
All right, I'm gonna pause it. That was a long one.
Is there more still?
There is more, but I'm gonna pause it. All right. Yes, Gerald said it before we even had to. Just open with the good stuff. You're absolutely right. I almost paused it right before that tempo change. That was exciting. That was fun to look at, but like the conversation getting to there was really starting to bore me, and so it was not keeping my attention. I was letting it go longer just because for the sake of the show and wanting to give them their fair time. But I wouldn't have normally. I wouldn't have continued to watch that. And then it got cool, and so I definitely, like Gerald said, would have put that stuff much closer to the beginning.
That should have been the lead off, because the dialogue and that whole thing is confusing. So we think it's an inner monologue, but he's in his closet recording, and this demon chick walks in, and I mean, is this a story he's writing? Is this his life? What the hell, man? I don't know what's going on, and now we're going to a convention where heroes are coming? That just seems like a recipe for disaster, as all the villains are going to go and try and take out the heroes. So I'm confused.
Well, I do feel like I liked how it started, like how there was this conversation between the character and the writer, and it made me chuckle for like the first couple seconds, and I was like, all right, this is fun. And then I feel like they should have just transitioned into that cool stuff, because it kept going after that. And then I was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, and I'll be honest, sometimes, you know, when it comes to manga inspired books, they tell stories in a little bit different way. And so I don't always catch it as quickly as far as what's going on. But I did like, you know, the video was well made. I saw a lot of cool animation stuff going on. It was just, like Gerald said, just too long.
It's too long. It's too confusing. And I like, again, the dialogue. I know there are no heroes, and they could have cut and ratcheted right up to that, and then did kind of like a manga style, you know, insert here, and then have the chick deliver her dialogue, and then no, forget you. You know, don't talk to a demon who is your partner and pay her no mind, and ratchet back up. Again, it's just like editing styles and all of that, and trying to captivate an audience, because Matt and I have done some extensive research on the amount of time that people will spend on campaigns, and the average time is anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds. And in that 3 to 5 seconds, you have a finite amount of time to get someone's attention, keep them there long enough to exceed the 5 seconds, and get your message across.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, the 3 seconds there, you would have lost me, because as soon as that chick came in the room, nope, done. I don't know. I'm out. So
I do like this. Sometimes when, it's always a fine balance, but sometimes when you've got too many things happening at once, it's challenging to kind of, from my perspective, what I'm trying to do here on the video is really get clear about, like, okay, what's this book about? What's the tempo? What's the theme? What kind of book is this? And what is it about? You know, and I'm trying to glean all that from these videos. And sometimes there's like these conversations going on, and I'm like trying to decipher that. And then I lose track of, like, you know, my goal, which is like, what is this about? But what they have done here is down below just a little bit, not too buried, just like one scroll down, is this thing. It says, what's the plot? And it says, Zeal, a new hero trapped in a bonding deal with the veteran villainous Grimora, who loves to mess with him in any way possible. After the star hero's death, villains has been on the rise in society and expecting a decay. Despite the whole world being against him, Zeal will still strive for greatness. Can he succeed, or will he fail? So when I read that again, it's kind of like I have to do a double take or read it again, because I'm like, okay, it sounds good with words, but like then you break it down, you're like, wait, villains have been on the rise and the society has been experiencing a decay. All right. Despite the whole world being against him. Why are they against him? Because he's hero, because he's villain.
Yeah. Because he's saddled up with a villain. His mother, you know, dressed him funny as a child, and the kids, you know, like poked fun and laughed. I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
What I've gotten so far is that you have this hero character who is got this villain inside of him in some way, or in his head or something like that, or just in some way is sort of connected with them, and so she's messing with him.
I think they're bonded, so she's physically there, and she's messing with him and causing all sorts of strife. Would be my guess. But again, it's hard because we don't have a context. I mean, and as much as we almost have too much information. It's rare that I say that, but I almost say we have too much information, and it needs to be trimmed down to, like, okay, here's the world. It's overran by villains. We have a single hero who's bonded to this villainous, and from there chaos ensues. I mean that takes all of that to this, and there's your pitch. If you're gonna do it, tighten it up, make it succinct, make it quick, make it deliverable. And I think It's
Yeah, at the core, you know, what is this story about? Is it about him trying to, you know, get rid of this entity and break the bond? Is it about him trying to, you know, save something? I mean, a story in the classic terms is, you know, a character or group of characters is trying to achieve something, and something or someone stands in their way, and the story is about how they overcome that something, right? It could be as simple, and I tell my students this, it could be as simple as, you know, I need to get up and I got to go to the bathroom. I really got to pee. I got to get somewhere. But then all of a sudden, like, there's all these obstacles in my way. How do I overcome them? And each character overcomes those obstacles differently. Some people, you know, like the Hulk, will smash through a wall. Spider-Man will climb over the wall, right? That's the obstacles tell us who the character is. So if you can break down the simple part of like, hey, this is the character. I don't know anything about this character Zeal except that he's bonded with this villain. I don't know if he's, you know, a plucky hero or a dark brooding hero. Like, I don't know what kind of character he is. And I don't really know, like, what stands in his way other than society's been experiencing decay and the whole world is against him for some reason, you know.
I don't know. He's in a closet. I'm going to go with the dark and brooding. And it's most of anime. The hero is always dark and brooding. So, I mean, there's your answer for that. But I like the premise. It just needs to be trimmed down a little bit and just kind of tightened up on the corners. What do we got for stretch goals? Anything?
So I want to give one additional, and there are some add-ons and stuff. I want to give an additional bonus point for this, and that is that up here we have the plot, which is not super clear, but it was an attempt to say this is what this comic is about.
Yeah.
Then down here we have a description of this comic, because this is technically a campaign for issue 2. And then you can also get issue 1. So they're also telling you, hey, this is what's going to happen in this issue. I'm not going to get into reading it because it probably will create more questions. But at least they're providing, you know, that context. It might be too much context, but they are trying. They have some great samples of the artwork here, and the artwork looks really fun and exciting, and nice balance of manga with an American flair to it. Then we've got rewards, and it looks like there's even some add-on sections, some prints, things like that. So they've got a lot of things going positive here as well. So let's look at the rewards. They've got a digital book. The digital book is $9. But keep in mind that somewhere up here, I forget, I think it's a pretty big book. I want to say, yeah, it says it's 56 pages. So it's good size. Then we get into cover A, which is $18. Cover B, which is $20. So we got a couple of different covers. And then we have a catch-up pack, which gets you issue 1 and issue 2 for $35. It's a pretty steep. Now, if issue 1 is also 56 pages, you're talking over 100 pages of comic for $35. I still feel like that's a bit high, especially if there's the shipping on top of that. You know, you add another $10, $15. You know, you're talking about $50 now for 2 books. It's a lot. It's a big ask, but that's why I agree with BMD here that the $9 thing for 56 pages, I'll take that. That's a good deal. You know? I'm sure they're going to have a lot more of those. So, and then let's go all the way to the bottom and see what they've got. They got a physical bundle for all the covers for $60, which seems like a pretty decent. They got 3 covers, so. And then for $80, submit your own hero design, and it will appear in the after credits double spread of the book, drawn by the interior artist with this special thank you message. That's a cool reward. And then you also get all the covers as well.
Yeah.
So
that is a great idea. I like that idea.
now, to be honest with you, this is a great value for the consumer. You get someone to custom draw your stuff. It's going to appear in the book. To be honest with you, I feel like the value that is not giving enough credit to the artist, because that if you can get all of the books for $60, and this is all the books plus a drawing for $20 more, that means the artist is only getting $20 to do a full page spread.
It does seem a bit lopsided, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think about these things a lot, probably more than I should, but I'm always calculating in my head the value versus, like what you're getting for it. So I agree with BMD. I think the $9 thing is probably one of the best deals on here so far. But then it stops at 80, and so they had a low goal of $500. They basically quadrupled that, so they're at like 400% of their goal with 5 days to go. So hopefully they continue to do well. Right? I wish them the best. Hero Darky Dark.
Issue 2. I'm curious. I would have been pushing issue 1 a little bit more, at least as far as a digital version available in some of those other packages.
They do have a digital catch-up bundle, which looks like both issue 1 and 2 for $12. That seems like a good deal. That means that you're down to like $6 a book.
Yeah.
I think their digital bundles are good.
Because that's 100 pages, and I think there's a good value right there. Besides the $9.99, $12 for both comics digitally, I can see a value right there. Absolutely.
Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our third and our final entry, the one that's been waiting for 4 weeks to be on the show and has finally appeared on the show. Let's switch over and take a look at Exodus Z issue 1 and 2. For heaven's sake, give a round of applause that they finally made it. Yay! All right.
And there was much rejoicing.
Here, I'll give a delayed response. All right, so let's dive in. We've been waiting for this one. Exodus Z, issue 1 and 2, for heaven's sake. Zombie apocalypse in heaven. How does that work? Interesting. Looks like they are within spitting distance of their goal. They're at 20. They have a goal of 2750, and they are at 2408.
I like the odd dollar close. I like that.
Within like a couple $100, within a few pledges. So let's see if we can help these guys out. Even if they're not the winners of the show, let's get them over the finish line, for goodness sake. All right, let's see what the video tells us.
Well, hello there, fleshies. It's your favorite undead buddy here to talk to you about Exodus Z, issue 2. For heaven's sake. Let me tell you, this was going to be a real gut buster. Our angel pals are in for it now. They've got no choice but to fend off the relentless zombie plague. Talk about a holy mess, am I right? We're bringing back the same talented humans from the first issue to keep things flowing smoothly. Kudos to them. And guess what? We're adding not one but 2 new cover artists, Pierce, Hazel, and Les Magnificent. They'll be bringing some eye-popping covers, with our angels fighting back against yours truly. We're aiming for a modest $27.50 to cover printing, shipping, and ensuring a high-quality product, because I don't want to hunt any poorly made comics. Your support doesn't just bring the project to life, it helps expand the Exodus universe. Join us on this epic journey. Your contribution becomes part of our legacy, and we're just dying to have you with us. So back issue 2, and let us keep this undead party going.
right, sir. Initial thoughts. I was going to say something about the audio.
Oh yeah, I love the dialogue, but I couldn't hear it because of that music bed.
Yep.
All of the incentives and all of that were in stark contrast with that music, and the music overpowered the dialogue. You're doing a voice, you're doing a character, which means you need to project more, but you also need to drop that music bed down, because one of the rules of voiceover is that it's not just a voice, but it's a character that you're imbuing and you're putting across. But you do a great job, but you can't hear it. And I feel bad because I wanted to hear what the incentives were, but I just gave up because I can't hear it, and that hurts my feel bads. I want to know more, but I can't hear it. And by the time I get caught up, we're helping expand the Exodus universe. Okay, but I don't even know what Exodus is. What universe are we talking about? Who's Exodus? Why do I care? Come on, man.
All right, so I that was my initial thought when it came to the audio, is like, because I saw the art and I knew that John worked on this, and I've been in contact with John for a long time now across many different platforms. Hopefully I will run into him someday in person. And so I was excited. I'm excited to see this, and the video, like you said, like immediately, the audio, the music was like, oh man, we got to turn that down. So here's a something to think about. It's like, I actually kind of liked the low, scraggly kind of voice that he was trying to do. It was fun. But there's a tone there. It's almost like, when the Crypt Keeper is opening the beginning of the show, he's talking in his voice. It's quiet, right? So you have that tone of like, hey, I'm trying to tell you this spooky story, but then you have this intense music and the tones don't match, right? So I think that would be the first thing, is maybe like, at least for the part where you're talking or starting off, like find a music that kind of matches that tone of like, this is going to be a dark and mysterious story of zombies. And then maybe if you've got shots of like battling and stuff, you can switch over to like fast-paced music, similarly to the way the last video did, only like a minute too late, but they changed the tone, right? So I think that's the first thing. And then, as Smurf said, like, if you think of two tracks, one's voice, one's audio or music, you think of like maybe like an 80-20 split. If your voice is at 80, your music is at 20. So that you're really clearly talking over the top of it. Otherwise, people are going to miss some stuff because they're hearing that music, right?
Yeah, because it needs to be also a little bit more complimentive. I like Exodus. I like the character, but he goes from telling us to pitch man, then back to telling us. So I think it needs to be like all tell us, and then even having like a transition to pitch, and even change the music if you want. But having the music coincide with the art, which is great. I get a huge Evil Ernie vibe, and I love the Army of Darkness feel that I'm getting from the hordes and all of that. And I think it's spectacular. But going strictly off of the video, you need to back off the throttle on that music bed and just kind of just rearrange what you're trying to say.
So he says, I tried fixing the audio a couple of times during the campaign, but once I uploaded it, it went full blast. So something to consider is, if you I don't know how much time is left on this thing. There's only 4 days, so probably not worth changing at this point. But in the future, if you're having a problem like hearing those levels, and you don't have some sort of meter that shows you the different levels at the same time, then consider that, hey, when I'm talking, I either don't want any music at all, or I want my music just super, super quiet. And then I do want to have some cool music. I'm going to save that for the visuals, and I'm not going to try to talk over it, and just sort of split your focus so that you can do one thing and then the other instead of trying to do both of them at the same time. I think that is probably the easiest way if you don't have the equipment or the software that actually will show you your levels of music and voice.
Well, and it also depends, because when you compile and you export out of your editor, you may want to look and have, it also depends on how that audio is imported into your timeline. So, I mean, there should be a specific function that you can drop your levels all the way down on the timeline itself so that it shows where your audio is peaking. Even if you try to adjust the volume itself, unless you drop that line, it's just going to automatically revert up to that when you export. So there's probably where you were having the jam up of trying to drop the audio, because it just automatically is just going to bring it right back up. But I can understand what you're saying, and yeah, it's one of those weird little things. But
yes, so let's get a closer look at the description and see what else is being told to us here. Get back over here and share the screen. There we go. So this is the very first graphic. It says, hello, Exodites. Welcome to the world of Exodus Z. We're back with triple the excitement, gore, and zombies. In issue 1, we saw survivors make it out of the zombie apocalypse on Earth as the final Exodus brought them to heaven's gates. Unfortunately, this zombie apocalypse is like no other, and not even the gates of heaven were safe. Right? That would be a great opening line. Don't need any like real background music. Just use that creepy voice that you were using, and then boom, cut into your music and your action shots and your gore, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Right? This is issue 2. So it says issue 2 is named Heaven's Sake. The issue would be putting the angels to the test, as they have no other choice but to fend off the zombie plague. So again, I love that you're telling us, you're trying to tell us what the overall story is about, and then you're also trying to tell us what this particular issue is about. I always feel like that's an important distinction, so that people know, hey, what am I getting for this book? So now the thing that's challenging with these big epic, like heaven and hell is one example, but there's lots of examples where you just have these big entities, is trying to get the people that are more interested in story than image and the art. They need to connect to some character, something, somehow, right? I'm not an angel, so I can't relate to that. I'm definitely not an angel. So a character to connect to is like, what pulls us through. I mean, when you look at like the Transformers movies that Michael Bay made, I mean, they're definitely not the best storytelling in the world, but the whole reason that they try to like shoehorn human characters in there is so that we have something to relate to, because they couldn't figure out how to make us relate to robots.
Yeah, they need a buy-in.
Yeah, and so like if you can do that, just like generally even your like heroic or super characters like demons or angels or superheroes or supervillains will have some sort of human qualities. They're very revenge focused, or they're very whatever. And so if you can like kind of push that part of it, that'll give someone to attach to and say, okay, I can relate to that. I know what it's like to lose people. I would definitely take advantage of that opportunity if I had those powers. Now I can get on board with this a little bit more. But when it's just like, telling the story of these epic entities, it's like, it's kind of like jumping in the middle of like, what was the great big battle in Lord of the Rings? Oh, the Battle of the Five Armies.
Oh, well, yeah. Battle of the Five Armies, Battle of Helm's Deep, Pelennor Field.
All right, any one of those, right? So it'd be imagine it would be like saying, I'm going to tell that story of that battle, but you don't know anybody. you know, and you're just like, so who am I supposed to root for here, you know? So I do feel like having that little bit of, you know, stuff. And so, you know, and it might have that in it. I'm just going off the first couple sentences I got here. Right here now, they're talking about your support bringing this project to life. Then there's the creative team, which has got the writer George Alvarez and the artist and inker, cover artist John Epple, who's with us right now, and says, I hid stuff all throughout issue 1 and 2 and continue that in issue 2 by adding the likenesses of indie comic characters as well. Oh, that should be fun to look for.
That's cool. All right. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I like.
We're gonna see Magnus. We're gonna see Magnus hiding in the shadows. That'll be fun. And then we got some great cover artists, and I mean, this looks like an exciting, fun, gory book, you know. So this is reward tiers. So I don't know about you. I'm gonna make this full screen so you can give me your opinion here. But when I look at this little graphic right here, there's not really like a hierarchy. So my eyes get overwhelmed. I just see all this text copy, and so I'm like trying to make sense of it, find the pattern of like, you know, it's going from being on the left to being on the right to being on the left, you know, trying to figure all that out. And so as a graphic design instructor, that's something that I feel like makes it hard to read. So I would definitely put like an image on the left, like instead of putting issue 2 standard cover, put a picture of issue 2 standard cover, or something like that. Cause it's a lot to try and like translate, at least for me.
What I would do on that, okay, is if you're battling heaven and hell, okay, let's embrace the theme. Make it look like a tablet from the 10 Commandments, okay?
Nice.
Start expanding your branding, your theme, okay? If this is heaven versus hell, what fits in that world? What would be an easy reach? You know, the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Okay, well that'd be freaking great that it would come with an instruction manual, and on the end would be like the ticket on how to pull and like other options, or the tablets that Moses brought with the 10 Commandments could have like all of those options, and yes, have a picture of the cover or something else later down. But if you're trying to give us something to visually read, and the colors on that are headache causing, even just looking at it now, I'm like, there's too much of a similar color palette for text versus the background. So you could actually have fun with the tablet and add some dimension to it, but I think you're missing opportunities for your own branding, and kind of just take that next step. Don't be shy. This is the world you're creating. Embrace it. Just go full, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what she said.
All right. Now, I will want to, I love some of the tiers. We've got digital copy of Exodus 1 and 2 right away. The very first digital reward is getting 1 and 2 for $8. That's a great deal. You can get both books. Then we get Exodus Z issue 2, cover A for $12. A physical catch-up for $20. So again, we've gotten a little bit of a bargain here. That's the word I was looking for earlier. To get both books, you get a little bit of discount. And it also says that you get the digital copy as well. So you're not only getting issues 1 and 2, but you're also getting the digital copy, which is a great way to add some value in there.
Yep. Add value, add fan base.
Says that crossover print looks dope. Let's see. Am I going the wrong way? Trying to figure out which crossover print you're talking about here. Oh, there we go. Exclusive crossover event. Drunk Mom, which we had on the show before. Exodus Z. Backers who physically back both campaigns will receive an exclusive Drunk Bomb Exodus C print.
Nice.
Nice,
I like that
nice.
cross promotion.
I love seeing cross promotion like this. This is great. So thanks for pointing that out, CL. Let's see. We've got 2-issue variant cover plus the standard going down. We got a lot of different version. Then we got the Unheavenly bundle for 50. A copy of each Exodus C issue 2 covers along with the digital deluxe. Comes with issues 1 and 2 digitally. So that's a great bundle. And then the retail. I see some people put retail exclusive on here. I think that's definitely like a good way to get some stores to buy in on that. We got a collector's bundle, an Unheavenly VIP bundle, which is our biggest goal. It says, become the part of the Exodus Z Chaos. Backers of this tier will have their likeness featured in issue 2 as either an unfortunate victim or a member of the relentless zombie horde. Will you meet a tragic end?
Make me a demon. That's what I want to be. I want to be a demon, just running around. You can kill me. I don't care. Just make me a demon.
Yes. I like how it says, will you meet a tragic end or join the undead ranks? The choice isn't yours. But your legacy will live on in the pages of Exodus T. So that's always a great tier to add. I mean, it generally means that, like, you know, there's still time to add you into the book if the book's not completely, you know, finished, and that they've kind of thought about that ahead of time. Like the book I just did, there was no room for any other extra characters. You know, it was just like this close, tight-knit battle between a couple characters. So I always like it when you can add those likenesses in. And they did some early bird rewards too, which definitely seems to have helped. So they are so close, you guys, so close to letting go. They've got some great digital rewards. They've got some great bundle packs going on here. So be sure and check it out if you haven't already. Again, they are like less than like $200, a little over $200 away. So,
I mean, you do that big tier, you're in the comic, you get the. I mean, that's quite the deal right there. I have to say.
John said, I killed off the entire creative team in issue 1. Nice. Right on. Okay, so that brings us to the final stage of our show. We have to pick one of these to give our support to and go back. And it's a tough decision this week. We have got some interesting stuff. Just as a recap, we've got Exodus Z that we just covered, a war between heaven and zombies. Then we've got, going backwards, the relentlessly bullied hero, the story of a hero stuck in a deal with a villain, bonded deal with a villain. And then we've got Bomb Shelley and the Atomic. So leave your choice in the comments below while we make our choice. And then we'll also tell you like why we made this choice, right? I feel like there was something to improve upon on each and every one of these campaigns, but in the end, one gave me a little bit more info and as to what was going on than the others. And if we aren't on the same page, then it's back to the Wheel of Destiny to let Destiny decide. CL's put in his vote for Exodus Z. Exodus Z. Lots of Z's. Right? I can always assume which one John is going to choose as well. So, are you ready, sir?
I am ready.
I am ready, he says. All right.
This was a tough week. Before I flip my card, I want to say this is tough. Like you said, there's room for improvement on all of them. We got different information. Nobody buried the lead. It's just, you know, either they're paying attention or we just had a really good batch. So I'm excited about this. I like
Yep.
I like difficult weeks. There's no clear
Yes.
present winner. All are winners
Right.
in our eyes.
All right, here we go. Downtown Exodus. Nice. All right. Congratulations to everyone involved there at Exodus. John says he's shamelessly biased. So yeah, for me, it was that there was a little bit clearer information, especially in the story section of it. They all had great art. I felt like, especially the first two videos, the second video is super long, and the Bombshell and the Atomic just didn't tell me enough about what was going on. It was just like, hey, here's me, and I'm a wrestler, and this is my book. There was very little context beyond that. So
And yeah, we don't have a story, we don't have a whole lot, and I like the approach, but I also think the pricing for Bombshell is a little upside down. I mean,
a little on the steep side. Yeah.
And looking at it, I want to see a value, but it's hard to see it based on the tiers that you have offered. So it's just kind of like, it just needs to be rethought and reapproached. Relentlessly Bullied Hero. I did like that they said that this issue, the plot. I liked the presentation, but like you said, it just got too long and I got confused. And again, it's all about editing. Hook them fast, and then give them a little bit more, and then hook them some more. Just boom, boom.
Yep.
Everyone likes a little boom, boom.
Yep. Hopefully, you guys got something of value out of this video and learned how to maybe improve upon it the next time. Congratulations to John and to George and everybody involved in Ecstasy. We are starting to do a new feature where we are going to interview the winners of this show. We do it recorded, and then we're going to splice them all up in a what do you call it? What kind of style where we're shotgunning out a bunch of different people? I forgot what you called it. But the video will be released like once a month, and it'll contain the people that we interviewed over the month. So for those of you guys involved, be sure to message me with some times that you have available, as well as some imagery that you want to use as B-roll in the video. But congratulations to you both, and be looking for a post about Ecstasy on the Action Line Studios page so you can share it out. But that's it for this show. You can catch me at actionlinestudios.com or Action Line Studios on Facebook. Be sure and subscribe to the channel here, and on YouTube we are fastly approaching our 1,000 subscribers, I should say, so that we can actually get monetized and get some of the people who work on this show a little bit of funding, pay the bills, make sure all the microphones work, all the lights are on, all that good stuff. All right, so and Smurf, where can they find you?
I'm the pro and I got the crappy mic. I know. But hey, this week, I've actually pulled up the professional gear for a change. I'm with 5280 Geek, 5280geek.com, 5280 Geek on Facebook, 5280 Geek on Instagram. Our podcast is available on all major podcasting platforms under Weekend Geek Update, or as you guessed it, 5280 Geek. So we do all sorts of different fun stuff. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Come on, come back some craziness. We're all about a good time.
Come on.
Come on. Join the party. But in the meantime, run fast, laugh hard, and always be kind. Good night.